As far as a scenario where someone goes through your phone, do you think that's grounds to like leave that person?
Give or take, depending on how
It
many.
depends.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends.
It depends.
It just depends. Like that's so broad.
Yeah.
It really depends on the scenario
It
and
does.
why and
Mm-hmm.
what. Like how was you going through it? Was I sleeping and I woke up and saw you going through it? Did you happen to not in the front? If I gave you permission to hold my phone and you kind of did 1 or 2 swipes,
Right.
right?
Or even if
but I gave it to you.
yeah.
That's still wrong, but I gave it to you at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, did you literally like take my phone and go in the back? Like when I was in the shower, it was like, you know, trying to break through. It's like it depends on the scenario. I think of like how they went through the phone, why they went through the phone. If someone was just like, oh, I saw you looking at that guy across the street, so now I had to go on your phone. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's a lot of.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's more nuance.
Yeah, it's not so. They knew. Does it count that they knew after? Cause okay.
You did it, sis.
No. I'm just asking. Yes, I admit that I did it. I never said I didn't.
No,
I never said I didn't. But if you knew after I did it, if I still tell you like yo, and yes, but I mean, I still, I've gone through the phone. Yes, and I told you I went through the phone. Yes, that too. So it's like yes to both of those. I'm gonna tell you I did it afterwards. Like so.
Yeah, for me, I never looked through, and I had opportunities to, like, you know, the phone there, in the shower, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say I've never been tempted or whatever, you know, because I'm like in the shower, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to be upset. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna find something, and then I don't even have a reason to. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I'm gonna go through it for what? And then I be thinking, I'm like, do I want to go through my phone? And at the time, I didn't have anything in my phone anyway. But I still was just like, no, I trust him, and I don't know. Maybe there's a false sense of romance, but I just never did it, and I won't do it. I won't.
I did do it in the past. Did I like doing it? No. Did I break my own heart? Absolutely. Was it the worst thing ever? Yes. And for that reason, see, I'm the one that I have to bump my head in order to learn.
Yeah.
So because of that reason, no, I won't go through someone else's phone
I heard horror stories, and that's what made me never want to do it.
Yeah, I won't go through someone's phone again because of my lesson that I learned when I did go through somebody's phone. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, girl.
No.
I done heard
This is
stories.
what you said.
She was like,
This is
I
what
was like,
you
you
doing?
found that girl? Yeah. I was like, but did you? I was like, how did you know? I went through his phone. I was like, well, why did you go through his phone? And then now she mad at me.
That's a pretty good question. They can't be mad at you, but you know they will be. So yeah.
But men go through women's phones too.
They sure
Some
do.
of them.
Cause
Yeah,
my
they
ex went
do.
through my
Some
phone.
of them.
A lot of a lot. Can I just say? Wait, I didn't say all, but a lot more than you think
Yes.
do. A lot of men. First of all, in general, yes, men do a lot of shit that they don't say they do, of course, but a lot of more men go through a woman's phone more than they say they do.
And
Trust
at
me.
the time when my ex
Trust
did
me.
it, I told him, I was like, ain't that
Trust me.
bitch shit? And he got me so mad. He was like, you call me a bitch? I was like, no. I was like, but I don't know any women do this. Like, why are you going through my phone? He was like,
Did at the time when he was through your phone, was it because did you give him like any indications that you could have been doing something behind his back?
Clearly she was, because why was he going through the phone?
No, let me
He
tell you
didn't
what
go through the
happened.
phone for no reason.
yes,
He was flirting and shit.
no.
Okay.
First of all, I wasn't doing anything
What happened
inappropriate.
was he just
I
woke
didn't
up one morning and said, "Let's go through Margaret's phone."
No, but see, my phone it have a lock on it or whatever. So I gave him my phone. I forgot what I gave him my phone for, but no, he just looked through it, and I gave it to him. Then I took a shower or whatever, and he's like, his mood changed. Like, we were supposed to go to the movies, and then he's like, oh, I don't want to go to the movies anymore, and I'm like, what happened?
From a conversation from 5 months ago.
And then I'm like, and then, you know, we ordered some food. Then he was drinking Henny, and then that's when he came with the whole,
he got that Henny courage.
He had the cup, and he was like, yo, let me ask you something. And I'm like,
Here we go.
what's the tone? Like, what happened? He was like, so you talking to that nigga and shit? I'm like, who? You know the person I'm talking to. what's this conversation with so and so, and that this and that. I was like, that was a joke, and it was something like it wasn't appropriate. You know, it was like, I'm a situation. It was inappropriate. So if I would have found something like that too, I would have been mad too. So I wasn't like saying that he didn't have a right to be upset. But again, it was
to go through the phone to
and not only that, but it was an old ass message. You know what I'm saying? Like you scrolled up and looking for something. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that was months ago, and I'm like, that was before we even got together. But because the guy had texted me currently, was like, hey, what's up? And I guess when he saw the text, that's what made him scroll up to see the conversation. But I haven't spoken to that nigga in like 5 months at that point.